morning, Foxes. How the devil are you today? How's your weekend been so far? Did you watch the FA Cup final? We were there 2 years ago. Well, you know what day it is. It's Sunday. It's 9:30 a.m. So it's time for the famous Foxes Aftermath show, run by the fans, for the fans, and your opinion matters. Come on then, let's get them comments in. Let's get going. It's kickoff time. Come on, you Foxes.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Are you ready for the show? Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. We want your views, we want your comments, so join us live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, everyone. There's a few hellos I've put up. There's quite a few people saying hello already. Morning, Chris. Morning, Rudy. Morning, Stephen. Morning, Judy. I hope you're well. I hope you're good. Pete Macca. Yes, we need Harry Potter, not Graham Potter, to get out of this mess. Yes, we do. We need Harry Potter to come and cast a spell over the club and improve everything. Morning, Wayne. I hope you're good. I hope you're well. Well, this time last week, we were positive. We were positive as hell last week. We were going to stay up. We were going to win. Everton were going to lose. And it didn't quite work, lads and lasses, did it? Unfortunately, it didn't. So we're in the Championship after 9 years in the Premiership, winning the FA Cup. The Great Escape, winning the FA Cup. The Community Shield, European Final. We found a level. There's been a few apologies out there this week from Madison, Madison and Didi, Pereira. That's about it at the morning. This morning, we haven't seen many more. What's people's thoughts on what's going to happen? What's people's thoughts on the manager? There's a few rumours. Graham Potter, maybe. Could he go to Could he go the ex-Chelsea manager? Could he go to Palace? Would he go from Brighton to Palace? Who knows? Steven Gerrard. New rumour this morning. Are we going to get Stevie G come Leicester? Will he bring Gary Mack with him? What's your views on that? Who do people want? Who do we think are going to get in? What players are going to leave? There's a lot to talk about. And the man that can talk to us about this is Reedy. Morning, Reedy. How are you, pal?
Morning. How are you?
So come on. What do you think? Dan Martin. Sorry, not that one. Dan Martin says, who do I think should be the new manager? As long as somebody that can do a better job than what Brendan Rodgers has just done the last 2 years, then anybody. Scooby Baz, Mark Robbins. I'm not sure Mark Robbins would leave Coventry at the minute because he's doing such a great job there, isn't he, Reedy? I don't think we've got a cat and hell's chance of getting Mark Robbins, unfortunately. But come on, Reedy, what do you think?
Well, I've said that the best appointment we could get would probably be Pete Potter. I'm still be very surprised when he comes to the Championship. But if you gave him basically a plan of you come in, do what you need to do, get him straight back up, and then start again in the Premier League, kind of like a Brighton style, then I'd be really up for that. And as much as people say it might be a bit risky giving him the freedom to buy players in, he obviously knows what he's doing because he's bought so many players in before at Brighton and whatnot. And obviously the quality shows now. So you just gotta hopefully let it happen if he does come in. And like I say, I've not heard about anything about Gerrard, but just know, just know because.
Oh, that's just new this morning. That was about an hour ago. That's even in the Leicester Mercury. Sorry, the Leicester Live. I'm showing my age here. Leicester Mercury. It's on there this morning. But just one thing, I can't remember. Did Potter go to Brighton after they were up, or did he get them up from the Championship? I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but
anybody let me know in the comments whether Potter took them up or whether he joined Brighton after they were up. I cannot remember.
He was there for a while, so I wasn't.
Yeah. But he's got the nous to do a job because he's done it before. He's nothing like we're saying is little old Leicester, but we're the same kind of size, not in history and stuff like that. The club size, the family club. And it's the same kind of, he could come in and do the job, the same kind of job as he did at Brighton.
Yeah. Again, it's a hard one because, again, we are going to lose a lot of the Premier League quality. But we should still have
Premier League quality. We didn't really have a lot of Premier League quality this year, did we, pal?
No, you know what I mean. We're going to lose a lot of the quality that we should have, and there's still players. I think even Madison said in his quote that we still had the players to do it. I'm like, you just can't say that now because we obviously didn't. But it's so difficult. I've just looked on the Brighton games. They came up in 2016-17.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dillon's just said Chris Hughton bought them up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can remember that now.
But yeah, that rings a bell, that does. Cheers, Jeff. But like Jono says, morning, chaps, do you think Potter talk is genuine? Yes, I do think it's genuine because we've been on about him for a long time. And I think it is genuine. Craig Pearson says, we won't be little old Leicester, we'll be big old Leicester next season in the Championship. Be one of the biggest clubs in the Championship, I think, won't we?
Yeah, definitely. Again, as much as Leeds and Southampton have gone down there, they've not done anything near the stuff that we've done. So anything we do against teams is going to be like either, like I say, if you lose to like a Hull or a Plymouth or whatnot, you'd think, is that a good enough result? I'm not sure because again, we don't know what's what going into the next season.
Tom, you're definitely showing your age there, pal. If Potter came in, what do you think that would do to the club, really? Would it give us a massive boost if Potter came in?
Of course. But that's not the word for it, is it?
Yeah. Me and Reedy, I brought that up because me and Reedy were trying to find a word. We can't think of the word.
It's definitely a word that kind of
spoke. It's not like a boost or confidence. There's another word. And me and Reedy couldn't think about the word that it would give the club a jolt. If anyone can put the word into Reedy's mouth, not my mouth, because it was Reedy that couldn't do it, couldn't get the words out of his mouth earlier. We can't find the right word. What kind of influence? No, wouldn't we?
It shows something. Like if you get Graham Potter in, it just shows that they're going for it. That they're doing something.
Is that the word you're looking for?
Not uplift.
Ambition.
No, ambition. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of word. Cheers, Wayne.
Ambition.
That's the kind of word. The ambition of the club, like we were when we reappointed Nigel Pearson, or when we appointed
Brendan Rodgers at the start.
At the start, Brendan Rodgers. Yes. Yeah. Rejuvenate. Is that the word you're looking for?
No.
Ambitious.
I think it's ambitious because again,
it wasn't confidence, Dave. We knew it wasn't confidence, but
it shows that they're doing something. They want to go in the right way. It shows they want to go in the right way.
Scott's just said this. I'm not quite sure whether it's Sage I haven't. People who don't get the Potter hype haven't followed his career and probably only remember Chelsea. Yeah, it's true. He is a good manager, but he probably went to Chelsea. Like, I agree with Scott. He probably went to Chelsea at the wrong time, didn't he?
Oh yeah, we all said that when he left Brighton, as in not left Brighton, but obviously because he moved on. We always said that he should be going to like a mid to high, so like a West Ham at times, or I don't know, like or Palace. Like you say, he could have gone to Palace, but people are saying that when next year comes and Premier League comes, any manager that gets sacked, he's easily there for the job. But that's why we have to try and snap him up before the Premier League even starts next year. So
AD's gone for a new direction. Is that the word?
No, that's just a different way of saying it.
Stability or wrong one? Stability, is that the word you were looking for?
No. Yeah, I think that maybe it's getting close to like an ambition or a fighting spirit. Again, it just shows the progression that we want to go in, the way we want to go in.
Yeah, it's all managers only go to Chelsea for one reason: money. Andrew Wilson has just put on the comment. I've seen you locks. I'll bring you on in a minute. Foresight. Now, had the word ability to judge correct. God, that's a bit of a long way. He's been in the dictionary, isn't it? What's going to happen in future? Foresight. Could that be the word?
I ain't got it. If I'm totally honest, My head's gone.
On that note, I'll bring somebody with a little bit of sense. Well, maybe not a little bit of sense, but some kind of sense anyway. Lots,
Hello.
how are you, pal?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
So you've been chatting this morning and yesterday. Graham Potter, Stevie G, what do you think? Are you happy with either of them?
Well, yeah, I'm definitely happy with Potter, 100%. Yeah, I find it. Some people still seem a bit like unsure on him, but I just think not even because of the Chelsea job, even if he, just been at Brighton, and I think it shows ambition from the club. Even if we don't get him, which you'd imagine we won't get him, you'd imagine we're not going to get him. If I had to put money on, but. It just shows ambition from top. I do rate it. I rate that we've moved from, obviously, we moved from when Roger was sacked and he said no. And whether that was just because he'd only just been out of a job or, he just wasn't ready or because he didn't know where we'd be. But if we have gone back in for him and offered him a project and said, we'll pay you this much and you'll have this much to spend, then I rate the intention. Yeah, the ambition and intention. But Gerrard.
But Locks, I would say Gerrard is more of a realistic option than Potter. Do you think? Because I think Gerrard needs a job. Potter could get a job, not any job in the Premiership, but a job in the Premiership.
What, you disagree, Reedy? You don't think it's more? No,
I do think Gerrard is probably the more, I wouldn't say sensible, but the more realistic, but. I don't want to be realistic. I don't want to be just like another Watford in the Championship where they just keep bringing managers in that just doesn't work and you keep bringing them in. I want somebody who knows what they're doing and hopefully, I know it's a big ask to bring it straight back up, but I want somebody who knows what they're doing and brings them in and just sorts them out.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think Gerrard's obviously is more realistic, but I don't think he's the man for this job. I don't think Dean Smith's more of the man for this job. He knows the Championship.
He took Norwich up Locks, didn't he? So he's had good opportunity of learning his craft in that Championship and bringing. Even though he didn't do a very good job at Villa after he took them up, but he's done it before. It's on his CV already. Where Stevie G, all he's ever done is won something in the Farmers League, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say, and this might just jinx us a little bit, but I want to say, if we invest right in the summer, I think anyone could probably bring us up. I don't want to sound too cocky because I know things can go very, very wrong in the Championship. But if we invest right, then I think we could come up with pretty much anyone. But it's just then after that, it's then when you get to the Premier League.
Here's a question for you two now and everyone in the comments. Are we going to come straight back up? With having I know it's only a week after the season's finished and we've been relegated. Are we going to come straight back up with lots of players leaving and no manager at the minute? Now, tell me, yes or no, Locks?
As it is now, no. As it is now,
yeah,
probably not. But
in that case, then, do you think we will struggle? But Locks, you've just answered that because you think we'll win, we'll do quite well no matter who comes in if the investment's right. Yeah,
and I the thing is, I don't think without. I don't know, man. It's hard. I think we'll do well. I'm saying playoffs, but I don't.
Oh, not the playoffs. I couldn't stand the playoffs.
Well, that's what I'm saying, mate. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'd rather finish 8th and miss out on the playoffs because that's a nightmare. Then playoffs are absolute, not a joke, but it's not the best way of losing a chance of going up.
Yeah.
Like I say, if we get the investment right and we go for me, I've said, but the moment we went down, we need to get the top quality Championship players and nick them off everyone else and just try and go for that push. Coventry striker who got 20 goals this season. You've got Sunderland's winger who scores bangers for fun from United. What's his name?
The bookings have put us at 5-1 to go straight back up. Surely that can't be right.
Yeah, I think it is.
We're 5-1 to win the league, mate.
Yeah, I know we are. Yeah, I know. Patrick got the mid-table at best, and Tom Tom's just made a good point. Where's that gone? Where's it gone? Here we are. It took Nigel Pearson 2.5 seasons to build a team that won the championship. So are we going for a wait? Do you think we are going to be waiting in the championship? Because I think we will. I think we'll have a couple of years in there, unfortunately. I don't want it, but I think we'll have a couple of years.
I do think if Potter comes in, I wouldn't say come straight back up, but I do think we'll be challenging already, because I do think he'll bring the right players in. But again, if it comes to be like someone like Gerrard or keep Dean Smith, as much as I want to say we go straight back up, I would think we'll be struggling. I think we need to get the right appointment first before we start bringing people in.
I think the earlier we bring someone in, the more chance we have of getting someone going straight back up.
That was going to be my next question, Locks. And now you've sort of answered it already. I've been saying we need to get a manager in now, or not now, ASAP, to attract new players, to start talking to new players before the transfer window opens, which is next weekend, is it? The weekend after next, I think, something like that.
I think it's the 10th. It's in a week.
Like that. Yeah, it's not far away, is it? So we need to get a manager in so we can not tap up players, but have a chat to players and say, right, come to me, this is what I'm building. But some people have said, no, we don't need it. We'll just leave it to Rudkin and Whelan. But I don't think you can leave it to Rudkin and Whelan at all, can you, Locks?
Well, I mean, like I said yesterday in our chat, mate, obviously, if the rumours that we've seen in the last 24 hours are to be believed, Potter is a little bit interested, and there's discussions about how much control Potter can have on the transfer side. And you best believe that Rudkin is the one who doesn't want to give that control over, because he wants that control. He wants to be able to have the control. I think for me, if we're not going to get Potter, we stick with Dean Smith and the current setup, in my opinion.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
He knows the players now. He's been there a few weeks, and you've got JT, you've got Shakespeare, who knows the club, who's been involved in a promotion and with Leicester. I think if you can't get Potter, stick with what you got and hope for the best, and let Smith bring his players in that he wants.
Well, yeah, Reedy, do you agree with that, pal?
Yeah, I was a bit. I don't know what the word is again. I completely lost my head, but I said to Phil when he said it first, I went, I'm not too sure on Dean Smith, but with him, I think we've got the best chance in keeping a bit of stability, because we don't want someone new in who we don't really know about, and then they mix things up again. Again, we've got a kind of a formula at the moment when we were in the Premier League, the last 8 games, where we only lost 2 games, and there were two big games, Man City and Liverpool. Oh, sorry, no, we did lose another one, but that was against Fulham, which I'm just going to write off anyway. But again, we didn't play bad. We didn't play awful. So for me, we've got something there to start with. And if Dean Smith stays, then I think he can build on that, because like I say, he already knows the players, and any players that does leave, I just hope that we bring in the good replacements for them. But I do still think the team we've got, once everyone starts leaving and whatnot, is still quality enough to be top 5 at least in the Championship, because again, JJ, he's not going to leave. He's from the Championship. Suter, Championship, but he was called from many clubs for him. So there's many players there where you should think they're good enough for the Championship, or maybe even too good for the Championship.
Yeah, it's we're talking. I don't know whether you did about Rudkin and Whelan the other day, didn't you, Locks? I haven't seen it because I've been busy at work. Adrian Silva, it was 14 seconds late due to paperwork. There's little mistakes like that. Doesn't give you. I know that was a few years ago. It don't give you confidence. He's director of football. Surely the director of football should have a good knowledge of. I know he used to be academy manager in that, but you need someone with a high profile in that job, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, they might find it difficult now to replace him in the Championship. You know what I mean? To find someone with more experience, or someone who's a bit more, I don't know, has a bit more nous. But yeah, I mean, it sounds to me like Rudkin, and I've been reading a lot about it in the last week, as much as I can, and from what multiple journalists have suggested, Rudkin is, in Top's ear, and Top trusts him, and if Top trusts him, because especially with Vishai obviously passing, obviously Top needs that support. And on the footballing side, it looks like Rudkin is his number one man, And I struggle to see now if Top's going to sack him because I don't think he will, mate. I don't think Top's going to get rid of him.
You do think as well, though, that he has brought in a lot of the good players as well.
Well,
he is the one who brought in the likes of Madison and that lot, isn't he?
Well, yeah, he's been there donkey's years, but he has brought some rubbish in. Vestergaard.
No, we know that. But isn't the likes of Bertrand and Vestergaard more of like a... I know it was Rudkin that got them in, but didn't Rodgers have a say in them?
Well, I honestly don't know. I don't know how it works because I really don't know how that director of football works, Locks. I just haven't got a clue. What does he actually do?
Well, as far as I'm aware, the scouting team, the recruitment team, report to him.
Sorry, Locks. What's happened to our scouting team since Steve Walsh left? We don't hear about it. It used to have a fantastic scouting team, but now all of a sudden.
Well, it's been broken up in the last year by Rodgers. A couple of them left, mate. A couple of the scouting team left because Rodgers kind of went over their head and brought in his own players. I'm guessing they're Vestergaard and Bertrand probably. But yeah, mate, that's what's apparently happened. It's Rob Tanner's reported this. We all trust Rob Tanner and think he's a great journalist. And yeah, he has reported that a couple, I think he said, members of the scouting team did leave because Rodgers just neglected them and bought his own players. But that's what I'm saying, mate. The scouting team are there based. I think they report to Rudkin. So I think the scouting team do all their scouting. They pick their targets. They then give them to Rudkin, and maybe Rudkin speaks with the manager. But it seems that hasn't happened on a few signings recently. And Rodgers has kind of just gone with his own and convinced Rudkin. Maybe I'm not sure, but.
I mean, it's like Brighton. They're doing what we used to do, picking up talent from lower level clubs like Kante, Mahrez. We picked up decent and made decent profits on them. They got that McAllister, Trossard as well. They made decent money on them. They bought him on the cheap, sold him on the high, but they did well and they got the best out of him. But I'm going back to Brendan Rodgers. It seemed like he's drained the life out of them. And the way the contracts have been done as well. I don't know whether you talked about this the other day, Lots, but the way the contracts have been done, that you've got 7 or 8 this year, 7 or 8 next year, all out of contracts. There was a list in the Leicester Live the other day of how many people are out of contracts over the next 3 or 4 years. And it's stupid how long contracts people like Dakar and Soumari have been given.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I think Tillemans is a bit of a rare case because he's a high-profile player, and he just didn't want to leave. He just didn't want to sign a new contract. He wanted to leave. But then you look at players like Mendy and Evans that probably aren't desperate to leave at all, but they've just been allowed to run their contracts down. Like we could have signed Soyuncu, we could have re-signed these if we really wanted to in the last 2 years, but we didn't.
You know what? I was talking about Soyuncu the other day. Yesterday, was it when we were watching the FA Cup final? How can a man like Soyuncu be able to go to Atletico Madrid to play in the Champions League but can't play in the Premiership for Leicester anymore?
Well, Locke said that, and I watched his show, and he said that if someone like what's his name?
Simeone
wants someone like him, why aren't we doing like, yeah, you're going into the first team, on mate. You can just walk in, mate. You can walk into the first team if Simeone wants you, mate.
This is what I mean, Jamie. You've got Diego Simeone managing a Champions League club. If he wants your player, surely you've got to think, well, he must be a good player if they want him. Like,
yeah,
watch him score the winner. Watch them win the Champions League next year.
Yeah, we're showing you in there. Morning, Ross. How the devil are you, pal? Are you good?
Morning, yeah, I'm all right. Sound.
Come on then. You just joined us very quickly. Potter, come on, what do you think, manager-wise?
Well, anybody really. I mean, what I mean by that is someone that's going to come in, get rid of all people that we don't need, get rid of all players that want to leave, pick and all that stuff. Obviously we all know about so-and-so going to Atletico Madrid. Obviously it's 4 years deal they've agreed, which is guttering, and obviously everyone else is leaving. Marty's going to AC Milan, which is weird.
I think he's going to Turkey now. I think you'll find.
Oh, is it?
But Petikask, or however you pronounce it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. But if we get Potter in, we get Potter in. We've got to back him. Get rid of whoever that is. Get rid of the Deadwood. Because we can't go into a championship season like we can't go into a season like last season where literally 4 days before the start, our best goalkeeper has gone, and we didn't replace him. So we need structure. We need leadership.
I'm not quite sure Sionku would have nutted Rodgers. I think he would have been sacked if he'd done that. But I think something went on behind the scene. Sionku not to play.
Going back though, Jamie. Do you know when you were saying about we've lost a lot of the scouting team and whatnot?
Yeah.
You've got to think that the last time we brought a load of players in, it was when we came off a European trip, and we needed higher level quality players. We couldn't go for the unknown players anymore. We had to go for players who won stuff. Like I say, Daka did win the Austrian league. Samare did win the league with Lille instead of having PSG winning the league once. We brought in the players we thought won stuff previously, and they know how to win stuff. So again, I know obviously now it doesn't look the best of signings, but there was obviously something there when we first bought him. Like I say, Bertrand, he's won stuff in the past. We've bought him for experience. As much as he didn't work out at all, that's why we've changed to going for more quality than, well, it could have been quality over someone who we don't know about.
This is why it annoys me so. Sorry, Ross, just really quick. This is why it annoys me so much about the whole thing. When some people still back Rodgers and say, "Well, he wasn't backed enough." The players he wants to replace were his signings. You know, he spent money. He signed Vestergaard and Bertrand and Samari and Perez, right? He signed these players, and then he moans when he can't replace them. Like, you can't just have unlimited pot of money, mate. Like, you spend big money, you can't then moan 18 months later that the players you chose aren't good enough. You stuck with them. You stuck them with them for a bit.
Didn't he say that Vestergaard was like when he came in, he was basically like if we need you, you come in. I'm like, you don't buy him just for him to just sit on the bench.
15 million as well. You don't pay 15 million for a player.
Do you know what? It makes me glad we only paid 15 million quid for him and not like 30 mil or 35 mil. In a way, like. But you say then just like experience, though, Reedy. Obviously, you two are too young, but you'll remember Jamie, Jamie Senior. When last time we got relegated to the Championship, all this experience that we bought didn't go down too well. No. So obviously, you know, it literally had a whole different structure of a team and everything, and we drew out 21 of our games. So you can't just go based on experience. You've got to look at different players. Championship, not Premier League, because the Premier League and Championship are two different. Oh yeah, meaning like the style of play. So you can't just go for Premier League experience to get back up there. You need Championship that knows that league. So I mean, we get someone like
Ross. You say that needs to know that league. Look at Company at Burnley.
That's true.
He was there 1 year and he got them up, and they absolutely steamrolled it. But I know where you're coming from. You do need somebody with experience.
But it's not even just that though with Company though. You got to think, what was Company like as a player? He just got stuck in and was a fighter. So even someone like that, he knows what he wants. He said, I saw his speech to all the players at the start of last season because I was just interested in what he was going to do, and he basically said, we're not getting this wrong, we're getting this right, and I know what we want, so we're going to sort it and do it. So he knows what he wanted, and he got him out of the Championship first time. So we just got to get all the things right.
Sold their best centre back, didn't they, in Tarkowski?
Yeah, they sold a lot of players. They brought in about 12, 13 new players. So it can be done. It can be done. Ross, I asked the lads earlier, as it stands now, how confident are you of going straight up? As it stands now.
At the minute, no, because obviously of all this unease of the players, who's going, it's like who's going, who's coming in, who's going to be manager, what's going to happen, what's the crack. At the minute, no, but wait till July 1st, July 2nd, when all the other players are going, and then we'll go from there. Because obviously, you look at that Championship. I think it could be one of the most battling championships you'll ever see. You know, teams in there like Sunderland and Middlesbrough. Wednesday, I've just had that amazing promotion. You've got a load of teams that have been in the Premier League.
19 teams are in the Championship.
Hold on a minute. This is true. If VAR wasn't about, we'd have stayed up and Forest would have gone down. I've read that.
Can't say that.
God's sake, you know what?
True. If they took out all the VAR decisions in the league, do you know how I love VAR? They took it all out and they said they worked it all out and Leicester would have stayed up and Forest would have gone down.
If my grandmother had wheels, she'd have been a bike in a famous.
You've been watching Gino De Campo, haven't you?
Yeah. I think that's it's like saying, you know, in probably the year we won the league, if there were no penalties, we probably wouldn't have won the league. Like,
it's ridiculous. All these stupid things. End of the day, it's happened.
Yeah.
You know,
but Ross, that's the kind of you're saying though. Really, to be honest,
no, it's not though. Do you know what though? It's actually not, because the amount of time I've said some good points. Whether people agree with me or disagree with me, I've said some valid points over this last year. Wow,
makes a change.
It does, though, to be fair, you know. And I can't. Fixtures coming out 22nd of June. I'll be looking at them very closely. You know, obviously for reasons I've, you know.
Yeah, because most of them are going to be home fixtures for you this year, isn't it?
Especially Rotherham, because it's literally 10 minutes on a train, literally from my house. So if people want to come up for it, I can give not give a tour guide of Rotherham. That'd be weird.
Lovely.
I know.
Lovely, great. It's great. Right then, Ross, we're going to let you go because I'm shooting. I'm nearly finished as well. So
I'm off to work anyway.
And we'll see you next week. Be good, mate.
All right, in a bit.
Cheers, Ross. See you later. So, lads, that's it. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling at the minute? It's a week on now. Have you improved your feeling since 6:30 last week, or are you still on the same downward spiral, Reader?
I've completely U-turned. You're on more this. I think you're still on the more of the down. Oh, we're down, whatnot. As much as I know it's a bad thing that we've got relegated. I'm excited. I'm excited for the Championship.
But it could be a good thing though, because sometimes when you're a player, you need to drop down a level or two to come back to improve. I'm not saying we're going to drop down a level or two, because if we drop down another level, blimey, I couldn't stand that. But if you drop down a level, rebuild, get yourself, and come back bigger and stronger. So yeah,
imagine we go down, as in obviously we have gone down, but I'm saying imagine we go down and we completely smash the league like Burnley did. What a season that would be for us.
Yeah,
it'd be a brilliant season.
I'm going to be the most positive I've ever been on here, apart from when we won the FA Cup. I'm going to be really positive for next season, Locks. I'm not going to, I can't say I'm not going to moan at anything or rant at anything, because I'm sure they'll have a rant sooner or later. But are you feeling positive, Locks? Are you wanting us to do well? Or it's the thing, how are you feeling now, a week on from last week?
I think it's what we needed. I think if we hadn't have gone down, we'd have been in the SHIT next season. I think going down allows us to get rid of some players who we probably wouldn't have even got rid of, like Barnes. We probably wouldn't have got rid of Barnes if we stayed up. I think we will now. We're going to bring in, at least £100 million, you'd say, in player sales, and it allows us to probably spend 50 on players that are good enough.
You've even got wages as well.
I've just thought of a quick question. What happens if Maddison and Barnes stay till January?
No. You can't have that.
Do you know what? I will say this. I don't want Maddison in the Championship. I don't want Maddison in the Championship.
We are that desperate we have to sell him? Are we that desperate for money we have to sell him? Or get the promotion, hopefully
I'd rather get rid of them. I don't think Maddison will get absolutely terrored in the Championship.
I think they'll both go, but it's just a thought that I've had if they stay till January. But are we that desperate for the money?
Don't worry about January. I think if they're still here in August, we're in trouble, mate, because we need to get them out now. Like
we need the money. Barnes, we need the money to regroup the team.
They have to. And just to finish what you asked me, Jamie, about how positive. Yeah, I'm positive. I think we needed all this, but I will tell you something now. That first game of the season, if we lose that game, it is going to be It is good if it's at
Why
home
did you
as well.
Why did you have to do it on a sour note, mate?
I'm just
Why?
saying, mate.
Why?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but no, it was the same after when we won the Premiership. We went up to Hull full of confidence.
Oh yeah, we
we
lost.
were like a bag of bloody spanners, weren't we? We lost 2-1.
Yeah, I was there. Was it Mahrez missed the penalty?
Somebody missed a penalty.
Mahrez missed the penalty.
Yeah, and you had that like, double overhead kick, didn't you? From them, yeah, they had like two players.
I can remember that.
But no, all I was saying was, I just think, like, I think by the time the season starts, a lot of fans will have switched to being positive and just, you know, looking forward.
Yeah.
But if we if we have a bad start, mate, it is going to get very, very, very toxic, very, very quickly, and it's going to be a lot worse than this season was. That's for sure. Especially if a couple members above are still there, because they are going to get it hard. So.
Maybe you've got to think as well, if you do win that first game, and I know it's an if, but if we do win that first game, you'd bring that momentum all the way up and say, just keep winning now, just keep going and going and going.
Well, yeah. Blocks, cheers, pal. I'm going to let you go because some of us have got to go work on a Sunday like normal. Cheers, mate. I'll see you through the week, pal.
Yeah, catch you all soon. Thanks.
See you later, mate. It'd be good. Reader, I'm going to let you go as well, pal. Cheers for joining on Sunday morning, and I'll wake you up early doors again.
Oh, I've always got an alarm ready to go, mate. So
you've always got a lot. Some Sundays you haven't, but most Sundays. All right then, Reader. We shall speak. Have a good week at work. Bye. Right then, lads and lasses. Thanks for watching. It's been an absolute privilege to speak to you again. It's been interesting. We're in the Championship, unfortunately. Not a lot we can do about it. So it's ciao, ciao. Adios. Goodbye to you. See you next week. Come on, you foxes.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.